I will give the floor to Mr. Perkins.
Thank you, Minister, for coming. Always a pleasure to have you here. It'll be a lot easier today. I know how enthusiastic you are, but if you can actually try and answer our questions, it would be more helpful for everyone, including the translators. Telesat, which you know is a company that is majority owned by U.S. investors, that your Liberal government has spent over $5 billion on since 2019 to try and connect rural and remote Canadians to the internet with lower Earth satellites. Only one small problem. It doesn't have a satellite network that connects anyone to the internet. And in 2021, 6 months after you became minister, you gave $1.4 billion of taxpayer money to Telesat, a large portion of which was a loan, a very big loan. How much of that loan has been paid back? Just the number, please.
Mr. Chair, I'm very proud of the work of Telesat and the workers at Telesat, I must say. Telesat is a Canadian company. We're proud of what they're doing, and I can assure you that the investments, because I would say, Mr. Perkins, just to be clear, we're making money out of these loans. We have a return on the investments that we have invested.
Minister, I have limited time. With respect, Minister,
Mr. Chair, if you want me to answer or not, I don't know.
Well, you haven't answered. I asked one simple question, not an explanation of what Telesat does. I asked a question. That question is quite simple. Simple answer. How much of the $1.4 billion investment and loan, which was the loan was almost $800 million part of it, has been paid back since 2021?
Mr. Chair, let's be clear. It's
Just
your
the
privilege,
number or the percentage. You
it's your privilege, Mr. Perkins, to ask the question. It's my privilege to answer.
I would like you to.
So my answer to you is say I am proud of what Telesat is doing. I'm proud of the loan that we have granted them to have a large constellation, about 198 satellites, that will offer coverage to Canadians, importantly for our national.
Minister,
if you're going to interrupt me every time I'm trying to answer your question, Minister, it's not going to go well today for you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, Minister, please try to be succinct in your answers to and to the point, Mr. Perkins.
I will come to your latest announcement. I asked about the $1.4 billion. So the answer obviously is zero has been paid back. You also have, at that time in 2021, had $650 million allocated for equity as well as for warrants. How much have you spent in warrants on that 2021 option right now on taxpayer money?
Listen, I'm happy to get back to you with the specific, but what I think Canadians are concerned about is to make sure that we would have, for national security reason, a very broad coverage when it comes to telecom in the Arctic. I can tell you the network, the LEO satellite, the low orbit satellite that are going to be put in orbit by Telesat, is going to be key in NORAD modernization and for NATO allies to protect the Arctic and the North. And I would say, Mr. Perkins, using the federal government balance sheet in order to support Canadian companies is a smart way to do things, because in this case, in the loan we have provided, we're actually making money. We're making money because we borrow at a lower rate, then we lend the money, and therefore Canadians will be making money while protecting national security and ensuring that there would be coverage in the North and the Arctic.
Let's talk about the $2.1 billion loan that you just announced on September 13th, a 15-year loan. A 15-year loan that gives interest relief, essentially, no interest payments for the first 5 years. At the rate that you set in the contract of 4.7% plus the overnight repo rate, that's about a 10% interest rate at current rates. That's over $1 billion of interest in the first 5 years that you're forgiving to Telesat. And you said you'll get goods in kind. What goods in kind are you getting for $1 billion?
We're getting a satellite coverage to protect our national security, sir. And I would say we're making money. That's why I think Canadians pay. There's a lot of people watching at home.
You're not making money if you're forgiving the interest.
Mr. Perkins,
you're making a statement. I'm telling you facts. That's the difference between you and I.
I read the loan agreement. I don't know if you did. It's the loan agreement has interest release for the first 5 years.
Sir.
There is no
if
interest
I borrow
being
at 2
paid.
and I lend
you can't
at 10,
make money.
I'm making money.
You can't make money if you're not collecting the interest.
Mr. Perkins, please, we can't have, just for the interpreters, it doesn't work if I have the both of you speaking at the same time. So, Mr. Perkins, I'll let you go with your question, and then please let the minister answer.
When you relieve the interest for 5 years and they don't have to pay it, how are you making money?
Sir, I'm borrowing borrowing at a lower rate than I'm lending, I'm getting warrant and I'm getting a network coverage for telecom in this country to protect our national security. Anyone who's done Math 101, if you borrow at a lower rate and you lend at a higher rate, you just don't take it from me, sir. No, but hold on. Do you want me to answer?
First 5 years. That's borrowing at an government interest rate, and then it's costing you money. And in terms of warrants, how much are you going to spend on warrants buying? What warrants are, for people watching, is the right to buy equity to bail out the company with their lack of cash flow. How much are you going to spend on those warrants to bail this company out, which after this loan will have $5.1 billion of debt on a market capitalization of $900 million?
So what's your question again?
My question is, how are you saying you're going to make money when you're giving the interest away for nothing?
So for Canadians watching at home, it's very simple. I borrow at 2, I lend at 10. You don't need to take it from me. Well, sir, do you want me to answer? If you want to make statements, I'm happy to listen to you.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, please let the minister answer, and then that'll be all the time you had for your questions. So, Mr. Champagne, Minister, you have about 25 seconds to answer.
Okay. So what I was saying to Canadians.
Mr. Perkins, please.
Okay. So for Canadians watching at home, I borrow at a lower rate and I'm lending at a higher rate. I'm making. Mr. Chair, I don't know how you want.
No.
I'm happy to listen to him. I like his statements.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, you know the rules of this committee. If you don't have the mic, you're not to be speaking over someone else, over a witness that we've invited. You've asked your question. I'm giving the minister time to answer. So please.
I've asked the question 3 times, Mr. Chair, and he's not answered it. He's giving me an answer that's not related to the question. The question is, in the first 5 years of the loan, you are giving interest relief. No interest has to be paid in the first 5 years. How are you making money when you say there's no interest being paid? That's part of the contract. I don't think you've read the contract, since it says there is goods in kind, no interest charged in the first 5 years of a $2 billion loan. That's the equivalent of $1 billion of interest relief to this company.
Okay, now, Mr. Perkins, you've had more than your time. I'd appreciate if you let the minister answer. I don't want any interruption. Mr. Champagne.
So, Mr. Chair, I appreciate. So for folks who watch at home, it's very simple. You borrow at a lower rate, you lend at a higher rate. You make the difference in between. And in addition to that, we're getting warrants, which is basically subscription rights to make sure that the Canadians would benefit from the plus value that we've created. And in addition to that, we are building a network of satellite to make sure that people would have telecom coverage in the north. That's going to help for our security, for national security. It's going to help for transmission of data when it comes to the Northern Passage for maritime operation and also for aviation. And we're going to be building, I think Mr. Perkins should celebrate, honestly, because we're going to be the largest factory in the world, Mr. Perkins, the largest factory of the world of its kind is going to be in Canada to produce satellite. We're going to produce 2 satellites a day in Canada. You should be proud of what we're doing for Canadians, because this is Canada leading in the 21st century. Not only will have protecting our national security, we smartly use our balance sheet to support Canadian workers. But in addition to that, we're going to be building 2 satellites a day. You should be celebrating, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. MP Gahir, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Minister, for appearing before the committee. I apologize. Usually at this committee, we let the witnesses answer the questions. I think it's a little bit early, so we haven't had our morning coffee. I wanted to talk about...
I'm sorry, Mr. Gahir. There was a point of order by Mr. Perkins.
That Liberal member doesn't speak for me, so he doesn't get to apologize for anything for me.
That's not a point of order. That's a comment, but I'll say I appreciate that you actually asked to speak and didn't interrupt while another member or a participant was speaking. So I'll take that as a positive. I'll take that as a positive. Madame Rempel-Garner.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Rempel-Garner.
Your government has given billions of tax dollars to Telesat, a low-Earth satellite internet company that has no low-Earth satellite internet network and connects no one to the internet. The reason why you said you gave a satellite internet company that has no satellite network and connects no one to the internet billions of tax dollars since 2019 is because they promised to connect Canadians to the internet in 2024. It's 2024. Is it fair to say that 0 Canadians are connected to the internet via Telesat Lightspeed?
I would just, well, Ms. Rampel, it's a delight to be in front of you this morning. Just for the folks watching at home, because there are many, I just want to say we've provided loans. Canadians understand the difference between a grant and a loan. A loan you make money of. We're making money out of the loan we've provided
you've
to Telesat, which is really what Canadians, they're making money out of that.
Thanks, but you've given billions of dollars, and so it's fair to say that you gave money to a satellite company that doesn't have a satellite network to connect people to the internet, and 0 people are connected to the internet with that billion. It's 0, right? That's the number of people that are connected after billions?
So if you look at the evolution of LEO satellites in the world, you first need to raise the money, so you put them in orbit, then you provide connection. It's the same thing, by the way, to all the Americans firm who did that with federal funding. What we're saying is that we're using our balance sheet by giving a loan. We're not giving it. We're lending money. So we're making money out of that to provide the network so we can connect people.
It's a great point, though, because you said you've loaned them. You loaned them money in 2021, and again, they had no satellite network, and they said that they would connect people to the internet by 2024. About 40,000 people, I think, but no people are connected to the internet, and you just gave them $2 billion more. I mean, call me crazy, but like, why would you give more money to a satellite internet company that doesn't have a satellite network to connect people to the internet when they haven't connected people to the internet?
It's very, very simple. First of all, giving and lending is different. Canadians know because they pay interest on loans. So in this case, the government of Canada didn't give anything. We loan money. We make money. So the government of Canada makes money. So the way you do, first you lend money to a company. It's the same thing in the United States, by the way. I can go to all the companies who had launch of satellites if you want. I'm happy to do that.
No. I got to say, like, you have a great pitch.
They put the satellite and then you provide communication. That's how it works.
So it's like you're giving people tax dollars to make money, but yet the company doesn't have satellites and doesn't sell internet to Canadians. So how would they pay it back?
Let me.
No, it's okay. No, I want to go back. How many people are connected to the internet today after all these billions?
So
it's 0, right?
Let me start that back. It's very simple. You lend money, so the government makes money. So you lend money to a company. The company puts the satellite in orbit, and then you provide communication.
Is this what they told you?
It's exactly what happened in the United States. The alternative is to outsource that to foreign firms. Canadians don't want to outsource their national security. So that's why we're going to be doing exactly that.
That's a great point. It's a foreign firm. So this company that you gave billions to, it's 36% owned by an American fund. Actually, according to American filings, American investment funds own about 63% of it. And the board chair is American. So is that what you define as a Canadian? So now you're paying an American fund that doesn't have satellites to deliver internet service that hasn't connected anyone to the internet. And you've bought their pitch because you're giving me their pitch. You just gave them more money and they haven't connected anybody to the internet.
Well, listen, I love that discussion. I guess, Mr. Chair, maybe we can have experts come here to explain a loan and a grant. It's kind of a different thing. The government of Canada did not give anything. The government of Canada is making money out of a company because you use your balance sheet where you borrow at a lower rate and you lend at a higher rate.
But they're not selling any product,
Canadians are making money,
right?
And we're going to be making 2 satellites in Canada. The largest factory of satellite in the world is going to be in this country. You should be celebrating Canadian innovation, Canadian manufacturing, Canadian worker. We're going to lead the world.
But you're like not concerned about giving money to a company that has launched no satellites after 5 years and has connected no one to the internet, which suggests they can't make any profit to pay back the loan. But I digress. Part of this loan, or you're actually giving money to Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, to launch these non-existent satellites. So why are you okay with giving Elon Musk's company all of these millions of dollars, but not allowing or encouraging Canadians to access existing satellite services with other companies? Because it's all going to American companies. I mean, God bless America, but like you're kind of
so I'm trying to follow because you criticized me at the time with Elon, which I happen to know, and now you're criticizing me for favoring a Canadian company.
No, I'm just saying what you said in the media.
I'm criticized on both sides so I just tried to get it.
You're going on both sides here. So I'm just trying to clarify. You're giving billions to a company that doesn't have satellites and has connected no one to the internet because it's a Canadian company, but it's owned by Americans, and it's launching satellites it doesn't have with Elon Musk's company. And this is a good deal for Canadians, right?
I love that discussion, sir. Do you have time to answer, Chair?
Yes, but you're out of time, MP Rempel-Garner, but I'll let the minister respond.
So for
about
Canadians
30
watching
seconds.
at home, we're giving nothing. We're providing a loan. We're making money out of the company. The company is going to launch 198 satellites to provide communication to ensure the national security of Canadians. And at the same time, Mr. Chair, we should be happy. We have the largest factory of satellite of its kind in the world. We'll be producing 2 satellites a day in this country. Workers, the industry, everyone is rejoicing that Canada is going to lead in the industry of the aerospace of the 21st century. And whilst we're going to be making money for Canadians.